The air hung heavy with unspoken words, a palpable tension that seemed to thicken with every passing second. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the once vibrant conversations that used to fill the room. Emma's world lay in pieces, shattered by Mike's betrayal. The remnants of their life together were scattered around her, each broken object a painful reminder of the trust that had been destroyed. His secret, so carefully kept, had exploded into their lives, unraveling the fabric of their relationship. The arguments that followed were fierce, filled with accusations and denials, each word cutting deeper than the last, leaving devastation in its wake. The once orderly home now mirrored the chaos in their hearts, a physical manifestation of the emotional turmoil they were experiencing. Tears flowed freely, a torrent of pain she couldn't contain. Emma's sobs echoed through the empty rooms, a haunting sound that spoke of a heart in agony.
His apologies echoed hollow and meaningless. Each "I'm sorry" felt like a slap in the face, a reminder of the promises he had broken. Trust, once our bedrock, has crumbled to dust. The foundation of our relationship, built over years, was now nothing more than a fragile memory.
Gone was the laughter that once filled their home. The joy and warmth that had defined their life together had been replaced by a cold, unyielding silence. Replaced by an icy silence, a void that seemed to grow with each passing day. Meals went uneaten, conversations left unsaid, as the chasm between them widened, a gulf so wide it seemed impossible to bridge. The distance between them was more than physical, it was an emotional rift that seemed insurmountable. Emma couldn't bear to look at him, the man who had once been her everything. His presence was a painful reminder of the betrayal that had shattered her world. To see the man she loved reflected in the face of the stranger he'd become. The love she once felt was now tainted by a deep sense of betrayal and hurt. Her heart ached with a pain so profound it took her breath away. Each sob was a release of the anguish that had built up inside her, a testament to the depth of her suffering. The life they had built together felt like a cruel illusion. The happy memories captured in photos now seemed like a mockery of the present reality.
Every shared memory, every whispered promise now feels tainted. The moments that once brought joy now only serve to deepen the pain. The weight of his deception presses down on me, suffocating me. It's a burden I carry every moment, a constant reminder of the trust that was broken. In this moment, I know I can't forgive him. The hurt is too fresh, the wound too deep. Forgiveness feels like an impossible task. Not yet, perhaps not ever. The future is uncertain, and the path to healing seems long and arduous.
The future they had envisioned, the dreams they had shared, now seemed like a distant, impossible dream. The one filled with love and laughter now felt like a cruel joke. The happiness they once knew seemed like a distant memory, now seemed like a distant, impossible dream. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, and the future they had once planned together now seemed unattainable. The pain of his betrayal was too raw, too deep. It was a wound that would take time to heal if it ever did. And as Mike stood there, watching helplessly as the woman he loved shattered before his eyes, he felt a profound sense of regret and sorrow. He knew he had only himself to blame. The weight of his actions bore down on him, a constant reminder of the trust he had broken and the love he had lost. Days turned into weeks, each one a painful reminder of Mike's betrayal. Emma refused all contact, her silence a heavy shroud over Mike's heart. Each unanswered call, every unopened message, chipped away at his soul. He was drowning in a sea of guilt and remorse.
The weight of my actions presses down on me, suffocating me. I've destroyed the one thing I held most dear, the love we shared. The pain in Emma's eyes, the tears I caused, play on a loop in my mind.
Sleep offered no escape, only a brief respite from the torment that consumed his waking hours. His dreams were haunted by the memory of her heartbreak, her whispered words of pain echoing in his ears.
I long to reach out, to explain, to beg for forgiveness, but the fear of rejection keeps me paralyzed. I know I have no right to expect anything from her, not after what I've done.
So he suffered in silence, his heart a heavy stone in his chest. Every sunrise brought a fresh wave of agony, a stark reminder of the love he'd thrown away. He was trapped in a prison of his own making, the bars forged from guilt and regret. Self-loathing became Mike's constant companion. Every waking moment was filled with regret and sorrow, a heavy burden that seemed impossible to lift. He knew apologies were not enough. He had to change, to transform himself from the inside out, to become a man worthy of Emma's love. This was not just about winning her back, but about becoming a better person. He started with brutal honesty. He examined his actions, scrutinizing every decision and mistake, the reasons behind his betrayal. He had to understand why he had hurt the person he loved the most.
The man staring back from the mirror is a stranger, someone I barely recognize. How did I become this person? I vow to do better, to be better. This is my promise to myself and to Emma. For Emma, but also for myself. I need to find my own worth and dignity.
He knew this wouldn't be easy, that redemption wasn't a quick fix, but a long, arduous journey. Each step felt like climbing a mountain. That redemption wasn't a quick fix, but a long, arduous journey. But he was ready to face the challenge head on. But he was determined to take it, one painful step at a time. He sought professional help, one painful step at a time. He sought professional help, attending therapy sessions that forced him to confront his flaws. Attending therapy sessions that forced him to confront his flaws. These sessions were grueling, but they were necessary.
Mike, understanding your fear of commitment is the first step towards self-improvement. You need to dig deep and find the root cause.
He read books on trust and communication, desperate to understand what went wrong and how to fix it. He learned about empathy, desperate to understand what went wrong and how to fix it. He learned about empathy, about putting someone else's needs before his own. About putting someone else's needs before his own. He practiced listening, truly listening to others. Slowly, painstakingly, he began to peel back the layers of self-deception and confront the man he had become. It was a painful process, and confront the man he had become. It was a painful process, but it was also liberating.
I started volunteering at a local charity, finding solace in helping others. It gave me a sense of purpose, finding solace in helping others. It gave me a sense of purpose, a way to channel my remorse into something positive. I pour my remorse into my work, seeking redemption through acts of kindness. Each act, no matter how small, seeking redemption through acts of kindness. Each act, no matter how small, felt like a step towards healing.
With each passing day, he felt a glimmer of hope, a flicker of light in the darkness he had created. The road was still long, a flicker of light in the darkness he had created. The road was still long, but he was no longer walking it alone. He still had a long way to go, but he was finally on the right path, the path towards earning back Emma's trust and love. This journey was about more than just redemption, the path towards earning back Emma's trust and love. This journey was about more than just redemption. It was about transformation, about becoming the man he always wanted to be. Months later, a mutual friends party became the setting for their unexpected reunion. It was a night filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses, a celebration of friendship and good times. Little did they know, it would also be a night of confronting the past. Mike's heart pounded in his chest as he saw Emma across the crowded room. The sight of her was like a punch to the gut, a mix of nostalgia and regret washing over him. He had thought about this moment countless times, but nothing could have prepared him for the reality of it. Her beauty, once a source of joy, now pierced him with a painful reminder of his loss. The memories of their time together, the laughter, the shared dreams, all came rushing back, overwhelming him with a sense of what could have been.
She's still the most captivating woman I've ever seen, but her eyes, they're so different now. They used to sparkle with joy and mischief, but now they seemed clouded with sadness and something else he couldn't quite place.
The air crackled with unspoken tension as their eyes met. It was as if the entire room faded away, leaving just the two of them in a bubble of unresolved emotions and unspoken words. Time seemed to stop, the music fading into background noise. The chatter and laughter of the partygoers became a distant hum, and all that mattered was the connection between their eyes. All Mike could see was her, the pain he had caused etched on her beautiful features. He remembered the last time they spoke, the harsh words, the tears, and the finality of their goodbye. He desperately wanted to approach her, to explain, to beg for another chance. But the weight of his mistakes held him back. the fear of rejection paralyzing him. But his courage faltered, fear rooting him to the spot. He was torn between the desire to make things right and the fear of making things worse.
Months of anger and hurt, the pain of their breakup had been unbearable, and she had spent countless nights crying herself to sleep, wondering what went wrong. I tried so hard to move on, to rebuild my life. She had thrown herself into work, into new hobbies, anything to distract herself from the emptiness he left behind. But seeing him again, the man who shattered my heart, it was like reopening an old wound, the pain fresh and raw all over again.
Emma, too, felt a jolt of electricity at the sight of him. It was a mix of shock, anger, and something else she couldn't quite identify. She wanted to run, to escape the memories that haunted her. But her feet felt like they were glued to the floor, her heart battling with her mind. But a strange mix of emotions kept her rooted to the spot. She was torn between the desire to confront him and the urge to flee. Anger, yes, but also a flicker of something else. Longing? Hope? She couldn't be sure. The emotions were too tangled, too complex to unravel in that moment. All she knew was that seeing him again, after all this time, had stirred something deep within her. It was a feeling she thought she had buried long ago, now resurfacing with a vengeance.
I have to try. I owe her that much at the very least. He knew he couldn't let this opportunity slip away, no matter how scared he was.
Finally, gathering every ounce of courage, Mike moved towards her, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and dread. Each step felt like a mile, the distance between them both too short and too long. He knew this wouldn't be easy, but he had to try. The future of their relationship, whatever it might be, depended on this moment. He took a deep breath, ready to face whatever came next.
Emma, can we talk?
The room faded into a blur as he focused solely on her. He saw the flicker of surprise in her eyes, followed by a wave of pain.
There's nothing to say.
She wanted to be strong, to turn and walk away, but something kept her rooted to the spot.
Please, I know I hurt you, more than words can say. But I've changed, Emma. I've done everything I can to become a better man. For you, for us.
He poured out his heart, expressing the depth of his remorse, the agony of living with the consequences of his actions. He didn't make excuses, didn't try to diminish his betrayal. He simply laid bare his soul, hoping that she might see the genuine change within him.
His words filled with pain and regret. I can see the change in him, the sincerity in his eyes. Part of me wants to believe him, to forgive him. But the fear, the memory of my shattered trust.
Emma listened, her heart a battlefield of conflicting emotions. His words resonated deep within her, but the fear held her back.